the diary out from under shawl, I looked around to try and find a secret enough place. Someone's bound to find you. Okay. Finally, I settled on a big sturdy willow tree that had a lot of good hiding places near its roots and in its trunk. Wrapping the book in a small cloth, I pushed it as far into the whole trunk as I could and took a few steps back to make sure no one, odd spelling, would be able to see anything poking out. Someone's gonna find it. See? Why did you ever think this was gonna work? Hey, did you guys see the troll flip at the meet and greet today? I was startled by the sudden sound of voices. Crouching down behind some bushes, I peeked through the branches to see who would be up at this time. Even though I was up at this time too, but still. Demine, weren't you talking about her about something? Yeah, so? That was Prince Demine's voice. See, we just don't know who it is. Damien Demine could be alter egos. It could be a massive twist at the end, who knows? Pulling a few more branches back, I tried to see if I could get a better look at who I was talking. Demine soon walked into the clearing and let entourage. Yeah, we're in France, beautiful. A girl was hanging on his arm, staring up at him longingly, but it didn't look like he was giving her much attention. Well, it's nothing really, but we've been noticing you hanging around her a lot. Oh god, is this where he said something weird? Shrugging lazily, he settled down at one of the roots of the tree that was not too far away from where I'd hidden my diary. That moment when I'd realised that hiding my diary in a willow tree was a bad idea. It was a shocking idea. I talked to a lot of girls. Huh, stud. Yeah, but not the way you do with her. I think you'd better stop before you get ahead of yourself. If a prince like that warns you something like that, if you keep speaking, your head's going to be chopped off. I'd stop. I watched quietly as I could feel the tension rising into the air while his tone had a hint of threat in it. A hint? Calm down, man. I just thought it was strange. Who cares if he talks to that fat troll? It's not like she's anything special. He's probably just pitying her. I felt my blood boil as the hot-tailed girl was just clinging disgustingly over his arm spoke. Pitying me? Oh, okay, I was going to say for a minute, you didn't just shout that at everyone, would you? Have you not seen her hair? She's a total mess and just a way too huge. There's a reason why she's never been able to get a mate after all this time. Ooh. Below the belt. Who did that airhead think she was talking about? I bit my lip as I watched her continue to run her mouth about things she knew nothing about. It's not that, is it? I even heard that she would go out walking late at night all dressed up in like some princess going out for a midnight walk. I heard that too. Did you hear how she goes around writing in some diary like... Shut up! Oh wow. He's coming to my defense. Still a dick, still on my smiling list, but he's coming. My attention quickly snapped to Demine, who'd shaken the girl off his arm and stood up. His height towered over the others, easily giving off an intimidating air. If you don't have the balls to go up and talk about her to her face, then you don't deserve the right to tear her down behind her back. Are you crazy? There's a reason why no one's been approaching her at the meet and greet. Yeah, come on, Demine. You have to admit the troll looks like she'll snap a man's neck in half and then eat him for breakfast. No one can handle her. I'm not that fucking tall. You know, imagine if they actually saw a proper giant troll. They'd be fucked. I've always had people making fun of me behind my back, and I thought that I'd gotten used to it after all this time, but seeing and hearing all of this right now, it still hurt. You don't know her, so why are you making such assumptions about... Oh, God. The you don't know her card, therefore you can't judge her. I hate that card quite a lot. It's usually a, you're right, but I don't want to admit it, and at least this way I can make myself look good card. What's your problem? Why are you getting so defensive of her? Shoving his hands in his pockets while walking away, I could barely hear the last thing Demine said. Because you don't know what you're talking about. She may be a troll, but she's still a girl who's got feelings that can still get hurt. I'd honestly love to know where the editor was on this one. As Demine started disappearing in the distance, his friends hurried to chase after him while apologising. Squeezing my shawl over my shoulders, I couldn't help but let a smile play on my face. Someone actually defended me. I've always been the one who's had to uphold a tough image and be my mother's sister rock. But it felt good to finally have someone speak up on my behalf. I stood up and dusted off my skirt. I started foraging for spices and sweet herbs for a special pastry. Herbs? For a paste? That sounds disgusting. Oh god. That I now wanted to bake him as a thank you. I can't risk giving my heart to a player, but I can show my appreciation and gratitude with some baked treats at least. After some rest, I felt hyped and ready to face the day. I left the house early in order to get started on my thank you gift for Demine. I made sure to drag Alakra along with me so she could handle the clientele while I focused on this. She's like the best sister ever. Hey, I can't be bothered running our business in which we make money because I'm pursuing some love lost. So if you could hit that, it'd be great. Oh dear. While I was working, I heard a familiar voice talking up from front. From up front, my heart did a small flip as I wiped the flour off my hands and peeked around the corner to see who it was. My heart suddenly took a dive back down as I saw Demine standing there with a girl who had her arm casually interlocked with his. I could feel the mood turn sour as I watched them sit and flirt so openly. No, the mood isn't sour if they're flirting. You're just sour. There's a big difference. Okay, Shaq, can you make me 2 of today's special? After hearing my name called Demine... You know, one day they'll call him Damien in open conversation. Demine turned his attention towards me. Hey, look, it's up bright and early. Giving him a grunt in response, I returned to the back of after reciprocating the stink eye the girl next to him was giving me. She seems like such a lovely person. Like, all the girls she seemed to date just seemed to be utter pricks. A little while later, I handed the dishes to Alakra to hand them, but she returned shortly after with one of the dishes in her hand. Yes, that did make sense. This is me making a cock of it. Did you do something on the prince's bad side? Looking over at her baffled, I shook my head no. Well, he's saying he's not going to take this dish nor pay it for you if you don't come out and give it to him yourself. Oh, well, it kind of makes sense. With a bitter laugh, I turned back around and went back to work. Tell him that I said I'm busy and I don't have time to be playing around with an idiotic prince of players like him. He's not going to pay, Acacia. He's a prince. He's used to having his own way. This is how this works. I could hear my sister mutter something under her breath as she went to deliver the message to him. A few moments, she came back around with the plate still in her hand. He said you'll even be even more busy trying to clean up your shop's reputation if you don't come out here now. What's he talking about, sis? Is he going to spread rumours about us? Well, he might tell everyone about the horrible pastry I gave him, and considering he's a prince of the unicorns, he might have some magical power which convinces everyone else. Damn you, Alakra, for not thinking of the same thing that I'm thinking of, even though it's slightly stupid. Finally, I started to get fed up, so I threw my towel down on the table and poked my head to see where he was. There he was, resting his head on one hand with a smug look on his face. The girl was chattering on about something as if she didn't realise that she was being totally ignored. Slags. Wrinkling up my nose, I rolled my eyes and called my sister over to me. You tell him that his childish threats don't scare me, and that if he knows what's good for him, he'd better leave me alone, or else. Well, or else what? He's smart, he's smart enough to be able to figure that out of the rest. Okay. I really don't think he should be provoking. Clicking my tongue to my teeth, I covered her mouth with my hand and nodded her head up and down. All you have to do is what Big Sister says. Don't worry about that idiot's stupid threats. Still with a concerned look in her eyes, she left back out of the kitchen to deliver my message to him. After waiting some time, I relaxed a little, figuring he finally got the hint. Or else? Jumping at the sudden sound of a deep voice, I whirled around to see Demine sitting on one of the stools blocking my only exit. Would it really have been too much to ask for you to hand-deliver the dish yourself? I've heard they're serving them on dish. This is a bakery, essentially. I don't think I've ever been served anything on a dish. You can't go up, order a donut and be like, yes, if you could warm that up and I'll eat inside, please. That doesn't happen. Alright. I made the food with my own 2 hands. That should be enough. Well, it's not. I want more. I felt my heart do a small backflip at his childish words. You should get that looked at. That's quite lethal. Don't be stupid. Why are you trying to make my life difficult? All you have to do is sit back, eat your food, pay for it, then leave. You're always in such a bad mood. That's only with you. Ouch! With feigned hurt, he put his hand to his chest again. I had to stop from gawking at him like I did before, so instead I rolled my eyes and turned to put some more distance between us. Just as I was walking away, I felt a strong hand grab my forearm, stopping me. I turned around and looked back at him, keeping a stern look on my face. He gently pulled me closer towards him, and I felt his minty breath brush my face. His icy silver eyes stared even, intensely into mine. You keep running away from me. Yep, it's 'cause you're a prick. There was nothing I could really say. It was like his eyes had a hypnotic effect on me whenever I gazed into them. Bit gay. I quickly snapped back of my senses, a slow smirk shaping his lips, as if he knew what I was thinking. Snatching my arm away with a shake, I tried to pull myself back together. I ran away because you get on my nerves. Lifting his arms, he confidently rested them on my shoulders. I stood there frozen with shock that he would actually have the gall enough to do something so bold. You know, you're the first girl to ever reject me, and so vehemently at that. Ah, what a lovely word! I like the word vehemently. It's the thing I've been most excited about. His voice dropped to a whisper as his eyes continued to study my face. What exactly was he trying to find staring at my face like that? Your nose? He could have just skipped biology, so I thought he'd give himself a crash course lesson very quickly. Oh well. Wow, wow, your ego is seriously second to none. Standing there while only giving me his signature smirk in return, I felt his thumb lightly caress along the back of my neck. I was wondering where we were going with that. It's not that I have a big ego, but just a lot of confidence. It's the same thing. There's a very small line between self-belief and confidence. Well, self-belief and cockiness, to be honest. Just as a small chill shot down my spine, I quickly shoved him away and stepped back to put some more distance between us. Why'd you keep touching me? I could ask myself the same question. Excuse me, I wasn't expecting that to be his answer. I don't like being messed around with, so get out and go back to your little girlfriend out there. Another sentence which doesn't make sense. She's not my girlfriend. Yeah, whatever. I was having a hard time trying to keep calm. I knew that if I kept hanging around him, I would get sucked in like all those other little girls, and I didn't want to be anyone's toy. Or babies messing around with you. That's slightly weird. Do you want to know why I'm always picking on you? Even though I was getting fed up with all of this, I was still a little bit curious to hear the reason why. Because you're a prick. If you come to the castle instead of the meet and greet tonight, then I'll tell you. I kept my arms crossed in front of me, giving him a puzzled look. He always seems to pull looks like that out of me. You can't be serious. He is. I thought after all this time you'd at least know that. With another mischievous smile, he tossed something to me and left the kitchen. I'll see you there. Don't hold your breath. Actually, hold your breath. No one would miss you. Just an FYI. I reported before he had closed the door behind him. Turning the item over in my hand, I unwrapped it to see a beautifully woven hair scarf. Is he making fun of my hair again with this? It is quite hideous. I mean, dear God. You look like a hippie from the 80s. Alright. Also, that's a good thing. That appears to be a window. But if that's a door, what's that? That's just odd. I've been staring at that for the past 10 minutes, not knowing. Although, the white one goes into another room, so probably the green one. And even then, it doesn't actually look like it's a doorway. It looks like it's plunged onto the wall. Alright. Even though I was annoyed, I was still a little touched by his thoughtful gesture. Still, I couldn't let myself get hung up on this. A player is only good at one thing, and that's playing the game. Well, at least he's saying it. With the end of the festival drawing near, it was announced that they will be having some new activities to do at the meet and greet tonight. Deciding to not accept Demine's arrogant invitation to his private party at the palace, I started to get ready for tonight's special meet and greet. Why don't you go to the Prince's Ball instead? That's like a one-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Well, because he's a prick. Look, Alakwa, you'll grow up. You'll start going on the rule, if you know what I mean. And then start sprouting, and these things will become clear to you. Until then, I'm going to ignore you and dismiss you. Ha ha! Tugging nervously at my sleeves, I shook my head no. I'm already going to be at the palace later on this week, so why should I go there ahead of time? I don't want my memory of my first visit to the palace to be a cocky invitation from His Highness. I'm sure he'll have plenty of other people there to distract him enough to not notice my absence. He won't. I don't know about that. He seemed pretty interested in you. He's also again. Scoffing, I let out a snarky laugh to put on my shoes. He's only interested in what he can't have. It's the chase that's getting him, not me. I'd love to agree with that, but I'd be wrong.